This is International Student USA. Today's question for Steven is, how can I find my target companies and positions? Hello, Steven.
Hi, Cece. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. You have a question?
Yeah. So, you know that my major is human resource.
Right.
And the only thing I know is that I want to find an HR-related job.
Right.
But I don't know which companies or positions. Then what should I do?
Let me answer that for everybody, because it's what we talk about in our book, 3 Steps to Your Job in the USA. Mm-hmm. The 3 steps are discovery, preparation, and action, and what you're talking about is discovery.
Yeah.
Which means before you get started sending your resume out and looking for a job and wasting a lot of time, mm-hmm. that you pay attention to your interests, your skills, your strengths, even your values, and select jobs that you can really focus on. A lot of people skip over that step. They just update their resume, send it out, but they don't really think about what job do I want, what job is realistic, what job can I be successful at.
Yeah, definitely, okay. Yes.
So, very often international students think, well, I have a high GPA, or I have very good technical skills, but actually very often it's your soft skills that are most important. But by that I mean, I can teach somebody to be really good at Microsoft Office, like Excel, but I really can't teach anybody to be a really great problem solver or a really good communicator. And very often that's what employers are mostly interested in.
Oh, so the soft skills.
The soft skills are really, really important, and you really have to pay attention to those.
Okay, so after I know that my strengths and my skills and my experience, so how can I find a perfect match with the companies or positions? Yeah,
I'll tell you a trick that I use with my clients, which is go to a site like Indeed.com, which is a consolidator of job boards. Mm-hmm. Put in some keywords that describe you, that describe the job you're looking for. So, for example, in your case, you might put in HR, benefits, communication skills, entry level. Mm-hmm. See what jobs come up, and if you're really interested in a job, if something kind of grabs you, the company, the job, then what you want to do is you want to analyze the job posting. And what I tell my clients to do is to mark up the job posting in 3 colors.
Is 3 colors?
Green, yellow, and red. Okay. Green for all the stuff that, all the requirements that you're very comfortable with. Yeah, that kind of describes me, it describes my background, it describes the things I'm good at. Yeah. Yellow for the things that may or may not be an issue. For example, things maybe you haven't done before.
Yeah.
And then red for something that's going to stop you from getting or taking that job. For example, only U.S. citizens need apply or something like that. Yeah. So once you do that, and if it's like 80 or 85% in green, and maybe 15 or 20% in yellow, but no red, and you feel really good about the organization, then that's a job you want to investigate. Okay? And then the way you go about investigating that is by researching the company, doing some informational interviews, and that kind of thing.
So that's the next step.
That will be the next step, and we'll talk about that in another video.
Okay. Yeah. So I have another question for international student.
Okay.
I am an international student, so I know that my time is so limited.
Yeah.
So my priority maybe is to find some company or positions that can sponsor me H-1B visa. Don't you think so?
Yeah, let me talk to everybody about that, because I hear this so much. I totally understand the pressure that international students feel, and sometimes the desperation even that they feel when they're not getting that job before it's time to leave the U.S.
Yes, there's a limit.
But you really can't expect an employer to say, oh, sure, we're going to sponsor you. They don't know you that well. You've got to get into the company as an intern or under an OPT assignment and prove yourself. Once you prove yourself, then they'll sponsor you. But there are a couple of other important things. For one thing, you can't make it sound difficult, sponsorship. So you just have to, if they ask you about sponsorship, say yes, at some point I'll need sponsorship.
Yes. But
all that's really involved is some paperwork and some fees, some small fees. A couple of $1,000s and some paperwork is not going to stop a company from sponsoring somebody who's a valuable employee like you, right?
Thank you.
So that's one thing, and then the other thing is that you really have to hunt for a job, not a visa. You know, you just get that whole idea out of your head. Even companies that very often say, we're not going to sponsor international students, if you come in there with a recommendation, if you meet the right person face to face and you impress them, they're going to make an exception for you.
So it's still possible?
You know, almost every company, it's still going to be possible, unless they have a hard and fast rule against hiring international students, but really most of them don't. Most of them, they have a preference to hire American students or American workers, but if you can get in front of them and impress them, you've got a real great shot at getting that internship, that OPT assignment, and eventually that H-1B job.
Oh, thank you, Steven. That's a great advice. Thank you so much.
You're going to be successful, Cece, and everybody out there can be successful as well.
Okay, good luck to all of us.
Good luck to everybody.